Welcome to Feel Better with Lauren. I'm Lauren. Thanks for joining me. It's a crazy time right now, and I don't think there's anything that I can do about it. But what I do feel I need to do is sort of strengthen myself, bolster myself, have my body and my mind in better unison so that whatever is happening, whatever is going to happen, I'm in the best frame of mind and body to deal with it for myself. So I'm drinking more water. I'm trying to get a better night's sleep. And today I'm going to do a restorative practice. I'm not going to overstress my body. I want to get everything working together as one. And this is about breathing and relaxing into this and getting stronger. Thanks for joining me. Today, a restorative practice where we can just refocus, we can stretch and relax our body, where we can get our breathing in check and get our mind and body and everything working all together. Today, I'm going to use a bunch of props. And you can certainly buy all kinds of great versions of these props, but this is just stuff that I use that's sort of around the house that a lot of us have anyways. I have my blocks, which are 4x4s in this case, and just cut to the size that helps me. You can use them at different heights and they add stability. And I've got a bolster, and you can buy some cool bolsters, but this is the back of one of the couches, same as that couch. I have a massage ball. In this case, this is a practice T-ball. It's soft but firm. And it's a great place to just sort of focus in on sort of some massaging. And then I have a stretching strap, a yoga strap. In this case, it's the dog's leash. I like it because it's got a little hook for your foot, and you can wrap it around to move around. But there's some great versions that you can buy as well, and I do have some of those versions. I use those all the time. There's a few of the props that I use. So let's just get yourself set up. I'm in a nice warm place right now. The sun's starting to go down. The dog's relaxing there. I'm in a good place to get myself relaxed and in focus. I'm going to start off just for a few moments on my back. I still use my mat. It's a great place to sort of define the space that you're in, but you can just lay on the floor or a carpet. I'm just going to lie back, and I'm going to put one hand on my belly, which sort of centers, and one hand on my heart. And you can use either side that you want. And I'm just going to lie here for a few moments. My shoulder blades are tucked under a little bit. I'm not in this corpse's pose, the Shavasana that we often do at the end. But I'm just sort of really getting in touch. With my breathing, with my heart, I can sort of feel what's touching the ground. And today I just want to be nice and slow, breathing in and out through my nose. And I just want to recenter myself. So let's just inhale in and out through our nose. Listen to your body. Listen to how it's feeling. What's stressed in it. Maybe you can listen to your mind as well. And maybe it's running around, and maybe you don't need to let it do that right now. It can sort of do whatever it wants. This is just to sort of tune into where you're at. I can sort of feel as I inhale, there's some tension there, and I'm just almost forcing myself to just release everything as I exhale through my nose. Almost like a sigh. Let your face sort of release some of its tension. Maybe your chest is holding itself up, and just let your shoulders fall back towards the ground. Just relax here. Each inhale sort of allows your brain and your body to recognize itself. And each exhale allows all those pieces just to fall down onto the floor. Let's just inhale once more. And slowly just push yourself up. Roll to your side. Gently bring yourself up. Everything today is going to be lying on the ground. I'm going to grab my bolster, the back of my, and I'm going to use my blocks behind it first. Just to, I want to make a little wedge out of this. And the base of the bolster or cushion is going to go against your hips. And you're going to frame your hands around it. I'm sorry if the mic acts a little bit weird. You're going to frame your arms around it so you've got a good twist going on, and you're going to slowly lower yourself onto the mat. And sort of, you can just sort of set yourself, see what's right. And then once you feel that you've got yourself set up, you're going to fall down onto the mat. Just take this off for a second. You're going to fall down onto this cushion. Whoop. And I'm going to look to the right. But maybe you want to look to the left if it's too much of a strain on your neck. And I'm going to do as I'm doing with all this is I'm going to relax into this. And each inhale in sort of lets me know what's going on. And then each exhale lets me sort of surrender to this. I'll sit here for about 10 slow breaths or so. And you'll find your body sort of pull back and sort of resist you maybe a little bit. And then you'll find yourself give into it. And keep your breathing nice and slow. Nothing should hurt for this. Definitely close your eyes if you'd like. If your brain is racing still, let it race, but maybe don't pay attention to too much of what it's racing about. I think the key here is to not think about how long it's going to take. Just each pose that we do, which is not many of them today, just realize that you can just surrender into that. You don't have to think anything. You can become totally relaxed. And you don't have to worry about when it's going to end. Just think about your body completely relaxing into this. And on your next inhale, just push yourself up from that cushion. And we'll do the other side. So your hip resting up against the end of it, your hands on either side of the cushion, and then let yourself fall down into the cushion. And again, with each inhale in, your body sort of might try to figure itself out a little bit. And with each exhale, do your best to release everything. You might find you'll be able to that the twist becomes easier or harder on this side. Maybe your neck doesn't want to go the same distance. It doesn't really matter. You're just relaxing through this. And your mind's allowed to go where it wants to go here. There's a thought of not attaching yourself to any of the thoughts that you have. So rather than trying to stop yourself from thinking about things, or at least bringing up things, you sort of let those thoughts just fade away. So a thought comes in, and you sort of maybe don't pay attention to it too much. If you do a full just ragdoll, you might realize that you're still holding on to some stuff. So when you inhale, and then just sigh almost as you exhale. And on your next inhale, put your hands beside the cushion. Slowly push yourself up. You can put that bolster or cushion away for a second. Put your blocks away for a second. And let's go back onto our back. Have your leash or your strap maybe around. We can go back and lie on our back here for a moment. And we're just going to release a few things here. So with your left foot bent, put your strap around your right foot and put it sort of at the middle of your foot. And keep that leg straight. And we're going to try to do a little stretch on the back of our leg. So you want to hold your leg up until you can feel the until you can feel a stretch underneath here. And then you just want to give a little bit of tension while your leg is as straight as it can be, just to help with the stretch. And you can decide here, do you like your leg up or do you like your leg down? On your left leg, that is. And maybe you can maybe you can pull your leg really far up. But the key sort of is we're trying to get a nice sort of hamstring stretch and a bicep femoris stretch on our legs. I just use the weight of my hands on the end of the strap to pull back. Now we're just going to relax here for a second. Maybe better to have your legs straight and down towards the ground a little bit rather than bending your leg here. And then just relax, the same thing. On your inhale, you'll feel some resistance. And then on your exhale, you sort of sigh. And again, you sort of give into this pose. And you don't want to be feeling any pain. Again, when thoughts come up, they can come up, and maybe just don't pay attention to them if you don't want to. You can think about them, I guess, if you want. Now on your next inhale, see if you can put that strap to the ball of your foot. And I want to pull my foot down and get a calf stretch. So again, I'm not yanking this. I'm just allowing the weight of my hands to help me sort of stretch out my calf. And come to the point where it's where you can feel the stretch and there's a sensation for sure, but there's definitely no pain going on here. And I haven't got a lot of tension going on either. And what you're going to find here as we do this, it's going to reveal some of the other tensions that you're carrying on. And just try to focus it on your calf. You'll still feel it in your hamstring, but by bending your foot, you should feel your calf get that extra bit. One last inhale in. Slowly lower your right foot to the ground. Take that strap off. So check in with how that feels on your body. And I'm going to keep my right leg bent for a moment. I'm going to put the strap or leash on the middle of my foot. And again, I'm going to keep my leg straight. I like putting my arms over my head. It gives them a sort of pleasant sensation of stress on the back of my leg. You can just be whatever's comfortable for you. And I'll put my right leg down. And completely natural that one side is stretching and giving in a different way than the other side. Again, if you can just relax into this, feel where your body's resisting on the inhale, and then sighing into the exhale. Use your arms as weights. Just, you want to keep that tension on the back of your leg, but keeping your leg straight is what we're trying to do here. And not lock straight, but just straight. If you feel like you've lost the tension on your leg, just let the gravity sort of help it and get a little bit more of a stretch. And one more inhale in. Let's just reposition our strap so it's on the ball of our foot, and we can focus in on stretching out your calf. So again, your leg's straight, but you're bending your foot down, so you're getting a nice calf stretch that's going on, and your brain focuses on that. So as you breathe, you sort of visualize your calf stretching, sort of focusing, and then exhaling, and maybe your foot bends a little bit more, just to the point where you feel the tension on it, but not pain. And maybe that looks different on one side than the other. And maybe each of these inhales, you're able to just stretch a little bit more each time. Sensation is our goal here. We're not trying to get ourselves to any particular point. Just focus in on your breath, and you almost picture that your calf itself is breathing. So as you inhale, and then you exhale, you get a little bit more of a stretch. If it feels like it's not stretching anymore, just let gravity help you a little bit more until you can feel that stretch. And one breath in. And just release your foot down. You can put that strap to the side for a moment. Now you're going to grab your fancy massage ball, put your left leg up, and we're just going to, if you felt, you can start feeling it as you're stretching your leg and your calf. You might have been feeling a bit of that, your hip sort of getting that tug on it. So we're going to just do a little release on that. So we're going to cross our right leg over our left, and we're just going to lift your hip up and try to plant that massage ball just below your hip. So you're not pushing against the bone, just below that hip point, and you're going to find a little spot in there, and you're going to breathe into that spot that's sort of resisting. It can be a strong sensation, but not a painful sensation. And sometimes you just sort of want to sort of move around a little bit and just find out exactly where it is that needs to get released. Sometimes it's further out to the hip, sometimes it's lower into your glute. Just breathe into that spot. You might find that spot suddenly releases, which is nice. Maybe you need to reposition that ball a little bit. There's one. That's for me a little lower, and I don't want to, the feeling again, it's intense, but it's not painful, it's not damaging pain, it's just intense. Just breathe into that. I can feel that releasing. I can feel the blood flow back to my foot. One more move around if you're feeling it. Find one more spot. And, these balls are super cheap. This is something you can come back. You can just find out what's feeling good for you here. And last inhale in. Roll over and take that ball out. See how that feels. Sometimes my toes get a little tingly because I can sort of getting circulation back to them. I'm going to put my right foot down, my left foot over this time. And put the ball underneath on the other side. And interestingly, it's not the same spot that needs that release. Sometimes you gotta find it. And there it is. This is more out towards the side of my hip, but not pushing on the bone. But the nice thing about these T-balls is that they have a little bit of give, so it's not painful, just intense. If it releases, find another spot. There's It's a little lower. It's a little where you can see where the muscle goes over the bone. Again, this side is different than the other. And roll onto the ball and really target that spot. Maybe reposition the ball once again or keep it where it's at. Oh, there it is. Whew. Just a couple breaths here. And on your next inhale in, roll over to the right. Take out that ball. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give a good tight squeeze there. Now while we're here with our ball, I'm just going to do a little bit of the shoulder blade release. So in between my shoulder blades on the right hand, I'm going to keep my knees, my feet flat on the floor, and I'm just going to roll over as I work my way up my body and see if I can't just release a little bit up in my upper back. So I put it sort of, it's right between my shoulder blades. There's that muscle that sort of cramps up there. And I sometimes got to find it a little bit. You can move your arm around and see if that helps isolate it. And once you find that spot, there it is. Just relax and breathe in on that. Again, sort of sighing. I'm going to chase around this little knot that I have by sort of scooching down a little bit and rolling to my side and finding it. And just a little bit more up. There it is. One more breath in. You can certainly come back to that as well. Take the ball and put it on the other side. And find that knot, that spot on that side. It may be the same or it may be a little bit different. This side's a little lower. It just attracts that I'm a little bit off. And just move your arm around Oh my goodness, there it is. Relax into that. If the muscle releases, which if you relax onto it, it just might find the next spot. Like there. Again, an intense feeling, but not a painful feeling. Maybe one little move more. Who knew that you could get that just intense of using your body in a T-ball? Your next inhale, just roll off the ball. Just let it roll to the side. And you just squeeze your knees in once more. Just really. Okay. Just roll to the side once more. Bring yourself up. Let's just do a quick child's pose, or maybe a longer child's pose. I can feel I've released a whole bunch of stuff here. I want to release where my in between my shoulder blades was cramped. And now I want to just sort of stretch that out so that everything can fall into place. So your forehead's going to go towards the mat. Your chest is going towards the mat. And just be here for a few more breaths. As you sort of sigh into that in your exhale, see what can keep going towards the floor while you keep your hips on your heels. If something's resisting, like my right hip is resisting right now, just sort of send some of your breath towards that area. And on your next inhale, slowly push yourself up. And I'm just going to grab a pillow to sit on to raise my hips, to go into this sort of easy cross-legged pose here. I'm going to cross my legs the opposite way that I usually do, just to give myself an extra, just a difference. Maybe push down and plant your hips on the ground well, so your back is nice and straight. Maybe check in. And the last thing you can just do is that those 4 sets of stretch moves that I often do. You go into that sort of prayer position where your thumbs are on your sternum and about the same height as your elbows. Really sort of feel that sort of like one side is completely balanced. Try to straighten up a little bit with each breath so your spine expands. And interlace your fingers and push your hands away. Separate your shoulder blades. And we'll just sit like this for a moment. We're engaging our body. We're not trying to be too intense here, though. We're just holding things a little longer. Maybe as you hold again on that each sigh of an exhale, things go a little bit more stretched. A lot of the times the way I can tell that I've held it long enough for myself is I sort of feel that interplay of stretching and resisting, and then all of a sudden my body will go, okay, it's released. And then I can move my hands above my head. Keep your spine elongating. And inhale. Interlace your hands behind your back, the opposite direction now. Your shoulders come away from your ears. Just tilting your head a little bit to the ceiling. Inhale. Bring your palms back to that. And then the last thing I want to do is just engage all my shoulders up to my ears. So I'm putting my hands onto my knees, and I'm going to lift my shoulders all the way up to my ears, and it's going to pull my spine up a little bit. I'm not really pushing with my hands, but I am supporting with my hands. And I am doing a bit of a flex on my shoulders because I want to engage all my neck muscles. Again, not straining, but definitely engaged. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. And then inhale. And just sigh, let everything go. Because everything is released here, you could do one of our pranayamas, one of our breath works. But I think what I'm going to do is, now that everything is engaged, is I'm just going to take a few moments with my head just tilted down a little tiny bit, my eyes half closed, sitting up straight but not rigid. Maybe your palms go to the sky. Maybe you can just sit for a few moments. Your body's equilibrium just sort of balance itself out. Keep going for a couple more minutes. And I'll see you in the next video. And you're going to be okay. I think we all are. Always talk to your healthcare professional before starting a new regime. If you experience pain, discomfort, or dizziness, slow down or stop. These videos will become easier each day, but if it doesn't feel right today, go slower or move to another video. Listen to your body.